Chapter 2, Introduction to the Concept of Miracle, Ijaj. Introduction to the concept of miracle, Ijaj. The word Ijaz of Mujija is neither mentioned in the Quran nor has either of them been used by the early authors. Instead, they used the word ayah or karama until al-Washiti chose Ijazul Quran as the title for his famous work. The word muziza gave new meanings that were defined by speculative theologians to be something that is extranatural, challenging, and that could not be opposed. Subhanallah. There are conditions for an event to be called as mujija. The event should be beyond human capability, it should be extranatural, it should be predicted by a righteous man and come to happen as predicted. It is known in the history of the religions that every prophet had a miracle which he showed to his people and challenged them with in an unprecedented way. Some of the prophets even had more than one sign as a definite proof that he was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to challenge his people to bring what was similar to it if they denied it. Every sign given to any of the prophets was exclusively meant for his people. The miracle given to Prophet Moses was his staff which he threw on the ground and it became a moving snake, and his hand which turned white without any disease whenever he put it in his armpit. But when he died, his signs were also no more there. The miracle of Prophet Isa Jesus was to cure the blind and the lepers and to resurrect the dead with Allah's permission. After Allah raised him to the heavens, his miracles also stopped. As for Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, his miracles are complete and will remain preserved with the command of Allah till the day of resurrection. Resurrection. His main miracle is the Quran, the everlasting book of Allah, subhanallah. Anyone who is living after the death of this prophet of mercy will be able to see and read it. All praise is due to Allah who gave us preference over many of his creations. What is That is why when the Crusaders came to fight the Muslims and were routed, they found that Muslims' arts and science had played a major role in their victory over them. So, when they went back to their countries, they told their people, "Let us transfer the sciences that the Muslims have." They then transferred the sciences from the land of Islam, which was then rife with sciences and was a fertile land for academic activities, to a land that practiced a corrupted religion that looked down upon knowledge. At a time when the Quran was inviting mankind to knowledge, learning, research, and experiment, the church was waging war against those who were attempting to transfer and teach sciences with an excuse that the tree whose fruit God forbade from eating was knowledge, and that knowledge was the first sin that people should not be given a chance to acquire. After many years of blood, bloodshed, sacrifices, and persecution, the Crusaders eventually attained a victory. They started learning and specializing in science whenever they found a scientific discovery. They compared it to corrupted texts of the Torah and the Gospels, and this increased them in certainly that these books were corrupted by man and were not original ones from God, but merely attributed to him. As a result, they started uprooting the religion from its foundation, for they were ignorant and of the detailed scientific discoveries mentioned in the glorious Quran that were only discovered just a few centuries ago. However, these scientists were stupefied to find out that the Noble Quran was a book that strongly called to knowledge, and that more than 900 of its verses mentioned what could be regarded as scientific miracles. Subhanallah. This led to some of these scientific scientists to embrace Islam, and one of them would say, would we follow a religion that wages war against knowledge and leave the one that calls to it? By God, this religion of Islam was not corrupted or altered, and this Quran is not the word of man. If it was not God's word, then how would it be able to reveal scientific realities not known until very recently? True indeed is the saying of Allah. We will show them our signs in the universe and in their own selves until it becomes manifest to them that this, the Quran, is the truth. Subhanallah, Surah Fushilat. Before starting the discussion on the scientific miracle of the Quran, there are some points that need to be taken care of. The Quran is a book of guidance and not a book of science, Allah says. Verily, this Quran guides to that which is most just and right. This guidance of comes in different ways. It comes by means of explanation, it comes by addressing one's innate nature, it comes through proofs and evidences, and it comes through mentioning the stories of past nations. In general, it comes by addressing the concerns of mankind further. For there are some among human beings whose concern is knowledge, so the Quran comes to address their concern. We should not look at theories, or we should rather look at realities. Knowledge obtained by study sometimes proves true and sometimes false. While the Quran does not prove false, some people might interpret some theories in the light of some Quranic verses when these theories are later proved wrong. The ignorance of such theorists could affect the estimation other people have of for the Quran. There should not be any negligence or exaggeration in the explanation of the Quran. The Quran should not be interpreted pretentiously or misrepresented. Neither should the whole of the Quran be explained in the context of a scientific basis. Equally, we should not say that the Quran is devoid of science. We have to understand that Quran with its rhetoric bears several ways of interpretation. For the earliest scholars had said about the interpretation of the verses of the Quran should not be written off by contemporary interpreters. Let us go back to the issue of the miraculous nature of the Quran. Who was the teacher who taught Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam peace and blessings of Allah be upon him these sciences and told him these stories? Did he then possess tools of scientific research that enabled him to discover all that? Did he have airplanes and rockets and that enabled him to discover what was beyond the sky? The answer is he possessed such knowledge that could never be affected by falsehood from any direction. He informed us of the stories of the universe from its beginning, and the science confirmed them. He informed us of its stories then, and its stories now, and modern science confirmed them. He informed us of the future of the universe, and science will no doubt discover that just as he has predicted. For every news, there is a reality, and you will come to know. Surah Al Anam. O people of knowledge, this is a book that confirms that which is with you. It comes from the one who is all aware, all seeing. He knows that which goes into the earth, and that which comes forth from it, and that which descends from the heaven, and that which ascends to it. Why then do the bearers of the Quran not hold on to it? Why do they not take it as their guidance in all their situations and affairs? The Quran is a miracle and inimitable in all aspects. Its inimitability is not only in language and science. Rather, it is inimitable in all aspects